Hello, everybody. How are you doing? I know it's been a little while since I have been here. Oh, and I almost forgot to go on over to Instagram and hit go live. So let's make sure. All right, it looks like Instagram is live. Yay! Okay, so it is, yes, good. It is noon on Wednesday. And we definitely have we have Monique over on Instagram. Awesomeness. A couple people now on Instagram, and YouTube and Facebook can always comment, and those comments will show up here in my stream, which is awesome. And then I'll know you're here. I'm a little raspy because I have been on trips. And as you can see, I have been busy. Behind me, it looks even more of a mess than it normally looks. And that is because, see all of that? Here, I'll go over this way. See all of that? I have been going through all of the various samples I have from Crochet Foundry, organizing them by designer so I can get things sent back to those who need them. Let's see, we have a few people here now. We have Monica that says good morning. Good morning, Monica. And Sarah. Hey, Sarah. So awesomeness. And we have quite a few. Monique says she sees a butterfly. Well, she says hello, and she says she sees a butterfly. Not a butterfly, sorry. Butterfly Monique says she sees a unicorn. Yes, that is Rarity, I think. Is it Rarity? No. Crap. I don't remember. My daughter gave me this unicorn over here. It's one of the ponies, the My Little Ponies one, but it's the fashion designer My Little Pony. So she chills with me sometimes. So I can't remember which what her name. I don't think it's Rarity. I don't know. If somebody knows the name of that My Little Pony, which is that My Little Pony, which is the fashion designer one. Rarity is the fashion one. Thank you, Monique. Okay, so it is Rarity. Yay! So that is what the My Little Pony in the background is. My daughter gave me the fashion designer one. And then we have Vincentia. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong, with a whole lot of happy little emojis that I love. So I guess today I would just like to know, what have you guys been doing with the crochet along? We have all the way until June 6th or 7th, whatever that first Friday in June is. I have suddenly forgotten the date of the first Friday in June, but we have all the way until the first Friday in June before our next issue comes out. And I hope you all have been sharing your progress on whatever Crochet Foundry pattern you have been making. So I certainly love to hear about it. Like I said, hoarse, so I'll be drinking a lot. So yeah, I've not been able to pop into the group as much as I normally do and as much as I would like, because I have been traveling all over to trade shows and conferences and summits and stuff, just to make sure that, we have the best possible everything for Crochet Foundry, talking to other designers and virtual assistant, all sorts of people within the industry, to make sure that, we have the best we can for Crochet Foundry. I think if I turn this light on right here, sorry guys. Aha. It's like, why do I look so dull? That's why. That is the light that I have to turn on separately that I always forget to turn on. So, yeah, I've just been traveling around, making sure to get those connections and talking with people to find out what we can do to get even a larger variety of designers and more ideas and what makes everybody happy, so that the magazine can be as awesome as it can possibly be. So that's what I've been doing and why I haven't been around. And I would certainly love to hear about you guys and whatever it is that you are making. So if anyone wants to say anything about what they're working on right now. I'm also going to chat again with my moderators to make sure we figure out something we can do for like little prize or two throughout this time between now and when the next issue comes out in June, for those of you who are participating in the crochet along, which again is any Crochet Foundry pattern that you want. When you're sharing it in the Crochet Foundry Makes group, go ahead and say the name of the pattern, the name of the designer is nice too, definitely. And I'll get that one in a moment there on Instagram. There's a question. What did I say? The name of the pattern, the name of the designer is nice. Oh, and the issue that the pattern was in, so that somebody else sees it and says, "Oh my gosh, I have to make that." They know where to find it, because there have been a decent number of issues. Sometimes it's hard to find them if you don't give that information. So One Rule Bejeweled on Instagram asked, "Do you know what the theme for the next magazine will be?" I do. Let's see, not working on the Crochet Foundry pattern, but making the Furls Snuggle Buddy. You can definitely share that. If you're not making something from Crochet Foundry, you can certainly still share it, and you can certainly still tell us what it is. It's only when we do the giveaway prizes and stuff, that's the only time it matters. Like if we're scrolling through the things and it's somebody who's making a pattern that's not from Crochet Foundry, you won't be eligible to win a giveaway prize. But other than that, giveaway prize, is that redundant? Other than that, it's fine if it's not Crochet Foundry. We certainly prefer to be Crochet Foundry, but I know that right now Crochet Foundry and Furls are also kind of still easily mixed, even though we're no longer one entity. But yeah, you can certainly do other things during the crochet along, and we're always happy to see what you're doing. And if you have any questions, answer them if we can. It's just if you want to be able to win one of the prizes, you want to stay within the Crochet Foundry. Good morning, Kat. And of course, if it turns into like everybody making something other than Crochet Foundry, then we'll have to tighten those rules a little bit. But for now, it's only for the course of the giveaways, and we're hoping that most of you, the vast majority of you, will be making Crochet Foundry patterns, and then that way we don't have to like tighten the rules even more. Good morning, Kat, and good morning, Gabby. Okay, so the question was, what was the theme for the next magazine, from One Rule Bejeweled? And that is, and Monique says hello again. The theme for the June magazine, because it is June, so it makes sense, is June is going to be a special Pride issue, which is going to be super cool, super fun. Lots of really cool patterns in there. You certainly don't have to be queer to wear them. But each pattern, we were just going for like celebratory happy patterns, and nice for the warmer months. And I know that June isn't necessarily summer for everybody, but we tend to stick with keeping the patterns seasonal to what they are here in North America, because that's where we are based. So those of you down under who have kind of reverse seasons from us, it just gives you even more time to make them, right? You have a bigger lead time. So with the June Pride theme, the patterns are going to be, happy summer, warm weather patterns, and they're also each pattern is, each pattern is representing a different flag. So what we did was, when we chose the designs, we kind of went with which ones work with which flags. I actually had my kids involved with this. Both of my kids are queer. And once I had chosen all of the patterns, I had them out and I was like, okay, so here are the patterns. I was like, let's make a list of the flags that we want to make sure we represent. So we did that. And then we matched up the patterns with the flags in the way that we thought would fit really well. And I think it worked out really well. I'm really excited about it. We're starting to get some of the samples in, and I'm starting to get to see the photos of them and everything, and they're working out really, really nicely. So yeah, and with each one, we'll give a little bit of education on this is the flag and this is what it means, because I know there's a lot of people out there who want to know what all of these different flags are, and you just don't, because there's a lot out there, right? And it's hard to remember everything. And what is the difference between bi and pan? And let me tell you, I have to ask my kids that question all the time. you know, and it's like, so I'm just going to give like a tiny bit of education with each one. So there'll be the pattern with the transgender flag colors, and I'll, and we'll have the transgender flag, and we'll tell a tiny bit about it for those of you who want to be able to learn a little bit, but maybe don't always have the people you can go to and ask. But it's not going to be, I'm trying to find a way. I'm making this issue an issue that celebrates Pride Month without being like preachy. Okay, that's not the point. It's still a crochet magazine. Yes, there's a lot of flags, and I just want to give you guys, because I know that this is a very welcoming, inclusive community, and sometimes you don't know something, and so I'm just trying to put a little bit of the information out there, so that those of us with the best of intentions don't accidentally stick our foot in our mouths, right? Because it's so easy to do when you just don't have the education. So trying to put that little bit out there, within the awesome crochet awesomeness, right? There's just, the patterns are lovely. You can, make whatever colors you want. You can, if it's the transgender flag colors on this pattern and you want to make one in a different flag color, or you want to make one that's just in your favorite color or in your team colors or whatever, dude, go for it. There's no rule saying you have to use the same colors as us. So it's just a way that I can help those people who want to learn a little bit more. Yes, it's great and a little crazy that you have to ask your daughter about the flags a lot, and times have changed, yes, for the better, definitely. So when you have a group of people who are so used to being marginalized, and we're hitting a point in time where that's still, I mean, like I said, I have 2 queer children. A large number of people within my family and my friends are in the queer community. It can be hard to, it's still not easy by any means. There's still a lot of hate and everything out there. But it's definitely better. So, they're finding ways to celebrate that is always nice. So yeah, lots and lots of awesome crochet going on. And let me see, there were a few more questions in here. How long will the crochet along be? Right now, this kind of, I'm trying to keep it in the same way that it had been before, because everybody seemed very happy with the way the crochet alongs had been run before. So why change it if people were loving it? Which is basically, it runs from when one issue is published until the next issue is published. So probably what we'll do is at the end of May, we'll kind of end this crochet along. So we'll, put up a post and be like, show us what you made during the crochet along. And, hopefully you all finish some stuff. And if you didn't finish some stuff, that's fine. Show us the partially made, show us the half blanket or the sweater with one arm or whatever. We still want to see. And then as long as what you've shared in there is a Crochet Foundry pattern, then, as we'll scroll through it and, close our eyes and scroll or set a random number generator or whatever to choose a winner and do some sort of a giveaway. I haven't quite decided what that is yet, but we will. What the giveaway is. I definitely have some options, and we will do that. So, and there might be another one or two giveaways between now and then. We'll see. It's just a matter of, what I can get together or whatever. So that's the Cal. And one Rule Bejeweled says she's making the floral tea testing for Lola Crochets. Cool. Flora tea. Tee, not TEA, which I should really be drinking. A floral tea. I like nut teas. Okay. Speaking of nuts, that would be me. I am a nut. When I was a teenager, there was, I feel like it was the tea bags. You could buy them in the grocery store in the little boxes. They weren't expensive because we didn't have a whole lot of money. But I remember it was like an almond, and I feel like it was it was like wildflowers and honey, and then it was almond and maybe vanilla and almond or something. I don't remember. There was an almond and something tea that you could buy, and I think it was in like the pyramid shaped tea bags, right? Like the 3-dimensional pyramid tea bags. And it was almond and something, maybe either almond and honey, either almond and vanilla or almond and flour. I think it was maybe almond and vanilla. And it was so good. It was my favorite tea, and I can't find it anymore. And it makes me very sad. So if anybody knows of a really awesome like almond and vanilla or almond kind of tea, let me know. And if any of you have any of these like random hive brain questions, ask them, because there's enough people here. We might actually have your answers. So sorry, the tea made me think of that. I have not seen, oh, well, you said if you're testing it for Lola Crochets, then that's probably a good reason why I haven't seen the pattern. It's not out yet. So cool. I know with Crochet Foundry, we love our testers. And one of the things that we are going to be putting together for our testers, for our designers, is a directory of testers, people who would like to be testers. So keep your eyes out for that. If you're somebody who would like to be a tester for a Crochet Foundry designer, know that it is taken seriously. If you are going to volunteer to be a tester for a Crochet Foundry designer, you will need to first provide a gauge swatch. I said it, gauge. Okay. Which usually the designer will have you make like somewhere between a 6-inch and 10-inch swatch. And then like take a picture where you show the hook. Sometimes they have you show the hook and the yarn as well, or just tell you what the hook and the yarn were. And then you have to have the ruler on it and like a really clear picture, so they can like look at the ruler and see how many rows per inch, and then put the ruler the other way, or have 2 rulers, and they can look at the ruler and see how many stitches per inch, so they can see that you really have the gauge that you're supposed to have. And if you don't, they can help you troubleshoot to get the right gauge. Once you've gotten the right gauge and your yarn and everything approved, then you start testing. And the patterns, you are not, as a tester, you are not also a tech editor. Okay. So the patterns should be either already tech edited or in the process of being tech edited enough that you shouldn't be finding errors within the pattern. The point of the testers is to be able to show the design made in different yarns, different colors, and different sizes. Okay, so let's see. Hold on, we got a couple comments about this. How many folks are currently testing patterns? I'm testing, this is Sarah, testing a bag for Darn Good Yarn and a blanket for Expression Fiber Arts. Cool. That is awesome. Yeah, and one of the things with Crochet Foundry, guys, yeah, let us know if you're testing and wherever you are, just be like, I'm a tester, and let us know who you're a tester for. That's always nice and fun to know. So yeah, if you're testing, you have to, make sure you get gauge, follow the pattern. You have to follow the pattern as written unless the designer gives you other directions. It's very important not to get all improvisational when you're testing a pattern. I know with Crochet Foundry, we are working to, it's going to take us the better part of a year to get to the point where our schedule is really as far out as we want it to be. We did all the math after speaking to a lot of people at these various trade shows and conferences, and speaking to different designers and everybody. figuring out what time frame each section needs. How much time do we need to put in the photography section? How much time do we need to put in the tester section? How much time do we need to put in the tech editing section? How much time needs to be in the designer section? And how much time before that do we need to allow for the yarn to get from the manufacturer to the designer? Because I can't send out the yarn requests and then start the countdown for the patterns because the designers don't have the patterns yet, right? So we did all of that math and worked backwards, and we got T minus 49 weeks. There's only 52 weeks in a year. Yes, we didn't quite hit a year. We had 3 extra weeks to spare. Monique says she'd love to be a tester. That's cool. And Sarah says, super lucked out on both your test patterns because you had exactly the yarn asked for, so you didn't have to buy anything. Nice. I love when that happens. So what's happening right now is I put out my design calls. Crochet Foundry puts out the design calls quarterly every season. And right now our design calls, instead of happening like 3 months apart, like they would be if we were at our like perfect world T minus 49 weeks, they're happening like every like 2 months or so, where we've got each set of due dates they started off a little tight and they're getting better and better as we go along, so that after the better part of a year, we'll finally be at the T minus 49 weeks. I think the first one that's going to hit that is going to be next spring, the patterns for next spring. So I guess it might actually be summer. Maybe it's spring. I don't remember. I really don't. It could be winter. I don't have it in front of me. The point is, though, when we get to that, all of the patterns will have been tech edited before they even go to the testers. Okay. Completely tech edited, then given back to the designers for the designers to have the patterns tested, because the testers are not there to correct the pattern. The testers are there to do the different sizes, because the sample is only made by the designer. They only make one sample usually in one size. So they're there to check the sizes. And that would have been checked by the tech editor, but just to be positive that the different sizes are going to look good and all of that. And also, like I said, to show what they look like in different colors and in different yarns. If the if the designer used a yarn that's got a higher price point, we definitely want at least one test of each pattern done in a budget yarn, in a yarn that almost anybody can afford. And we want to see tests done in yarns that are, maybe some yarns that are more international. If the sample is done in a yarn that is only available in North America, then we would love to have a tester that's, in New Zealand or Australia or Europe somewhere, testing it in a yarn that's available where they live, so that people can actually see what it looks like in those yarns. The biggest things for the testers are showing the different sizes and showing options for yarn and colors, so that the other crocheters reading the magazine and looking at these patterns can get the ideas of, it makes it easier for you to see it as you want to make it if you can see all those options. So while testers, thank you, Monique, testers pretty much everywhere, you don't get paid, you get a free copy of the pattern. So what we do is the designers, when the pattern is totally, the pattern, our designers, once they can release the pattern, let me try that sentence again. If you are a tester for a pattern, you will get when the issue comes out that you're in, you'll get a 25% off coupon for the entire issue. Okay, so you can get the entire issue for 25% off. If you happen to be somebody who took an amazing photo and we use your photo, not in, like, if you look at the magazine, y'all know that we have tester sections where we show the photos of the testers, but every once in a while we'll use a tester photo within the pattern as a pattern photo, or in March, the cover photo was a tester pattern because it was so epic. It was awesome. So if that happens, if we use your photo, not just in the tester photo section, but like as a pattern photo, then you get a free copy of the magazine. And then, of course, as soon as the designer has formatted their pattern as an individual pattern, which they are able to sell after a certain amount of time, but as soon as they have it formatted, even if it's before the time that they're actually allowed to sell it, then the designer is encouraged to give you a free copy of just the pattern. So that is where we are right now. We have so many testers. Some people will have like 10 testers for one pattern. So I can't give a free magazine to everybody, but we still ask our designers to give a free copy of the pattern as soon as they have it, like in their little, everybody's got their own little format that they put their patterns in when they sell them or do them individually after the magazine's been out for a while. So we ask them to give you guys a free copy of the pattern that you tested, and then you get the discount on the magazine itself. And I need to relook at things with how various things are sold to make sure that how things work on Shopify, so that once we get memberships and everything going, make sure that you can still, even if you have a membership, you can still use your coupon, because of course we don't want you to get penalized for having a membership. That would just be a bummer, right? So we're going to put together a list. I'll probably do some sort of like survey thing that people can fill out if they are interested in becoming a designer. I mean, not a designer, that's already done. If you're interested in becoming a tester, so that we can have a list for our designers if they need some testers, because sometimes I have designers who say, I would love to do some testing. I don't have anybody to do it for me. And I'm like, there are some designers with like 1,000,001 testers and other designers with like none. I bet you we can kind of stick our heads together and fix this issue, right? Why not work together? We're a community, aren't we? So, all right. And I'm still rambling about testing because nobody has come up with anything else going on over here. Probably going to cut this one off at 45 minutes today, because we have our sit and stitch directly after this. So this, if we're going with Eastern time, because that's where I am, and therefore you all get to adjust to me. Really? I can't remember to turn the phone off. And it was spam. What was I saying before? I was so really interrupted by the phone. Oh, right. I'm the queen of the universe. No. We've got to choose a time zone. And since, I shot out the bucks to buy the magazine, we're going with mine. So the lives are at noon on Wednesday, and the sit and stitch this week is from 1 to 3 Eastern. So this live started at noon, and we're going to end around 12:45, so that I have a few minutes to rest my voice, refill my water, maybe make myself some tea after that, whole tea thing, and use the restroom and come back down here for the 1 to 3 sit and stitch. The registration link for the sit and stitch, which it's a live Zoom, so everybody is on camera, everybody can talk, so my voice can get a rest, and you all can show off what you're making. I love that aspect of it. I love that you can all share your makes right there on camera. Monique is making tea now. Make me some tea, Monique. Okay, what kind of tea are you making, Monique? Now we need to know. So I love that everybody can share what they're making. I really, this is fun talking to you guys, but I'm talking to a picture of myself with like a scrolling thing of comments next to me and below me. And I really prefer to actually be able to like see your faces and see what you're making and everything. So I love those Zooms, and my voice loves those Zooms because I don't have to be the only one talking. And you all get to meet each other. It's so much fun. It really is. I've been so sad that I wasn't able to do them for the last 2 weeks. I had a great time at the events where I was at, and I think I made a whole lot of progress for Crochet Foundry, but I missed you guys. So I hope that a bunch of you will be at our Zoom meeting today from 1 to 3 Eastern. And then the next one next week is, I think, from 7 to 9. You can find the links. You should all be on the newsletter. You should all be getting the newsletter. English, like English breakfast, English black tea. I have a lot of English breakfast teas and a lot of Earl Grey teas. And then I have some really awesome herbal ones as well. And peppermint. Peppermint is great for when my tummy is sad. Lemon and honey and ginger, usually 2 to 3 of those together, depending on what brand I've bought. Really good for if your stomach is sad as well. See, there we go. I said, Monique, make me tea. And she said, I'd make you ginger and honey. And that is exactly what I'm going to make when I'm done here. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, the more I get to know Monique, the more I'm like, oh, look, it's like me in another body. See? So, yeah, it's so much fun to do those sit and stitches together. But the newsletter has, when I send out the newsletter, I let you know when the next sit and stitches, and there's the little registration thing you can click on there. And in order, if you're not signed up for the newsletter, you can go to the website, and just scroll down. If you just go to the main website and you scroll down, there's a thing where you can join the newsletter. Do that, and that's where you'll get the link in the weekends for registering. And then at any point, and look, that's not here, so let me go grab a Crochet Foundry Makes. Here we go. I'm going to grab this little link. And I'll also post it in Instagram. So here I'm posting in Instagram, guys. Here's the Crochet Foundry links, Crochet Foundry Makes link. And then here, there we go. That is the link to the Crochet Foundry Makes group. So that is our Facebook group. And there is a pinned post that has any of the scheduled sit and stitches. So I think right now it's got like the next 3 on there. I need to go in and schedule the next batch of sit and stitches to get them on there. But there's a pinned post on that Crochet Foundry Makes group with all of the links to all the upcoming sit and stitches. And then you get the every weekend you'll get a little message in the newsletter saying when the next sit and stitch is and giving you the link. So that is, again, if you go to crochetfoundry.com, scroll to the bottom, you can sign up for the newsletter if you're not already a member. Oh, Monique registered for the 24th time. Yes. It doesn't really tell you you've already registered until like you've re-registered, but it's fine. It's not like, oh, this banner is still up. I didn't mean to leave it up. It's not like driving me nuts. I don't get a little ding every time somebody registers. I've got those notifications off. The main reason why I have it register like that is for you guys, because if I just leave the link, then if I just give the link, then like you guys have to go and find it when it's time to go to the Zoom meeting, and it's not necessarily like where you want it to be. It might not be in your email or on your calendar or this, that, or the other thing. But if I set it up so that you register, then it's done in a way that like you'll get an email, I think the morning of, reminding you. And then you also get like the little calendar thing that you can add it to your calendar. So I know that for me, when I go to Zoom meetings, if they have a registration link, it works better for me because it gives me the information in a form where I can put it where I need it. I can put it on my whatever calendar. Like I use Google Calendar, so I can put it on my Google Calendar, but you can put it on, like, there's all those different options. So that's why I do it with the registration. Okay, cool. I'm glad I have an approval. That's why I do it with the registration link as opposed to just giving you the Zoom link. Is I find that it's easier as the person attending to be able to keep track of when that thing is, to get it on my calendar so I get the little reminder and to find the link and everything like that. Because otherwise I'm losing links left and right. It's hard if it doesn't show up on my calendar. So, there's that. Let's see. Cool. And yeah, and again, we had somebody ask before at the sit and stitch, they're like, well, are there any rules as to like what I have to be working on, or if I've had to have bought this magazine, the last issue of the magazine or anything? Okay, so yeah, in all honesty, we prefer that you have bought every issue of Crochet Foundry ever made. Sure, we prefer that. That would be awesome. And we prefer that you're working on a Crochet Foundry pattern. But reality is also that you're going to be making other things. Maybe you are making a present for your new grandchild, or your niece or nephew or nibbling or whatever, or and Crochet Foundry doesn't really have little kid or baby patterns or whatever. So you're not always going to be making Crochet Foundry patterns, and that's fine. So just participate, have a good time, be nice to each other, keep the inclusive, inviting, this is fun for everybody atmosphere that we always like. And I will fail to notice that not everybody is making a Crochet Foundry pattern, and that is totally fine. I'll even not realize that I'm helping you with figuring out what you are stuck on a pattern that isn't a Crochet Foundry pattern. I don't really care. I just want you there and having fun. Okay? So, yeah, lose those links all the time. That's why I do the registration thing. So yeah, the point of the sit and stitch, honestly, the main point of the sit and stitch is mental health, mine and yours. I find that the more of these, I don't have a lot of face-to-face interaction where somebody is actually responding back to me in a way other than this like thing down the side of my screen. And I don't have a lot of going out and talking to people in my real life. So I like to have the sit and stitches because it provides me with a way to have actual interaction with people where I can see their faces and hear their voices and have a real conversation with them, not just talking to the scrolling things. Like, I mean, I love you, Monique. You're very sweet, but I can't hear your voice. It's so much more fun when you're right there with me. And yeah, and they're full of love and they're fun. And it's such a great time to be like, okay, guys, so I'm making this and I have this color and this color. Which color do you think I should use? Or, oh my gosh, I'm stuck on this stitch. Can somebody help me? It's a perfect time to get those questions answered because you can go back and forth if someone says, oh, well, what about this? And then you can respond, and it doesn't take you 2 hours of like back and forth on the screen because you're talking to each other. So it's a great time to get advice on your pattern, on your whatever you're making. Yes, Sarah's also totally awesome to be around. And she's one of our moderators. And yeah, it's a great time to get questions answered, advice if you're stuck, if you want to work on a pattern, but there's a stitch in it that you don't know how to make. Maybe we can help you with that stitch. And while this is called Crochet Foundry, I'm totally cool with you working on knitting patterns as well. I am also a crochet and knit pattern designer, and I am an expert on both crafts. So if you have a knit question, go ahead and ask it. Okay. Like I said, I just ask that everybody is kind and inviting. My number one rule is be kind. My number two rule is please don't make me make other rules. So as long as we can deal with that, we're all good. Occasionally we get off the yarn topic. But most of the time we're on yarn topic somewhere. It's somehow yarn related. And when we stray, we usually stray back, or somebody be like, okay, that's really great, guys, but I have a yarn question. And don't be shy about that. If we've like gone off on some tangent somewhere and are now talking about the best places to eat in, I don't know, some place that I don't live, Poland, the best places to eat in Poland, you can be like, okay, that's really awesome, guys, but I have a yarn question, and we'll get ourselves back on track and behave. So yeah, but it's just like any in-person sit and stitch, where we're just having a good time. And I have them set for 2 hours, not because I think every last one of you has 2 hours to do a sit and stitch with me. It would be fun. But by doing it for 2 hours, I hope that there's more of you who can show up at least for part of it. So you're not expected to be there when you don't have to worry about looking at your watch and being like, oh no, it started 15 minutes ago. Now I can't go because I'll be late and it's embarrassing. The reason it's 2 hours long is so that you can pop in and out at your leisure. So do not be worried about showing up late. There is no late. It's a come in and come out at your leisure kind of thing. All right. And we certainly encourage you to have your video on and everything, but if you're just, sometimes people, I know, sometimes people you're at work and you're on your lunch break and you're scarfing down your lunch and you don't want us to see or hear that. And you know what? We definitely don't want to hear that. I have a thing about listening to people eat that just doesn't make me happy. But if you don't want us to see you slurping your ramen or whatever, totally fine. Turn the camera off. But otherwise, we're not going to judge if your hair looks like this, because mine usually does, or if your room looks like this, because mine usually does. We're not going to judge that. Just feel free to turn your camera on so that we can see what you're making and so that we can see your beautiful face. So, oh, yes. I'm with you too, smacking lips. Yeah. And everybody's got something that bugs them. So that's, apparently it's a thing like this. It's a thing where certain people can't handle the sound of other people eating. We have a nice big table and I sit at one end, my husband sits at the other end, and the kids, not that big, and the kids sit on the other two sides. It's probably like, I don't know, maybe like 4 feet long. Maybe. Yeah, it's probably like 4 feet long. And it's nice because I'm not close enough to anybody to really hear them eat, but I'm still close enough to everybody to hear them when they're talking. So that works nicely. Yes, Monique, I can read your code. I taught 6th grade for a year, and I taught college, and I'm a mom. And I'm a mom of a dyslexic child. I can read a lot. I can't read doctor, though. Just please don't ask me to read doctor. Never quite perfected that one. So, all right. I have enjoyed talking with you guys here. I know yes, there were some, I was going to say, it's been a little while since I've seen a YouTube comment, but there are YouTube comments because Gabby is on YouTube and Monica is on YouTube. So that's awesome. So, and I love this name, Vicenta. I don't know, but I'm not sure which way exactly it is, but either way, either way, it's really pretty. It's fun. I like it. So it's nice to see that we've got Facebook or YouTube working here. Here we go. Oh, nobody can read doctor. Even doctors. Oh, chickens can. uh, oh, yes. Sarah just scarfed her lunch so that she doesn't eat during the sit and stitch. Well, yeah, we've got like 45 minutes. No, it's 12:45. We've got like 15 minutes before the sit and stitch. So I am going to run away because we do have 15 minutes before the sit and stitch, and I would like to make myself some ginger and honey tea, as Monica suggested there, and be back here for you guys in 15 minutes. And the Crochet Foundry lives from 12 to 1 Eastern, or 12 to 12:45, or 1 Eastern. Will be happening every Wednesday, because when I can't make it, I check see if either of my moderators can. So that's always nice that we have awesome moderators who are able to cover for me on Wednesdays when I am busy. But the sit and stitches only happen on the weeks when I'm able to do it. If there's ever like a long period of time when I'm not able to do it, I'll work something out with the moderators, see what I can do to make sure that they can actually do it instead, if they're willing and able, obviously. So yeah, I'm gonna run away now because we have our sit and stitch coming up here in about 14 minutes, and I want to get a few things done before then. So hopefully I will be seeing you guys in 14 minutes live on Zoom. Again, if you got the newsletter this weekend, there's a link in there to register. And I think once it's like an hour before the meeting, it just like gives you the actual link to the show or to the Zoom or something. And then there's also the link in the Crochet Foundry Makes group if you don't have the newsletter from this weekend in the Crochet Foundry Makes Facebook group. So I'll toss that group up one more time. So there is, if you're able to see the banner on the screen there is the link for the Facebook group, though I don't think you can click it. So it's called Crochet Foundry Makes. And the link is in there. And just make sure that you're signed up for the newsletter so that you get the invites. All right. I will see you all soon. And I'm going to run away. Thank you so much for joining. I had a good time, and I will see you soon.